Welcome to Heart and El Sol, the demonstration garden for Salinas Valley Recycles. I'm Jana Falk, the recycling coordinator, and this is Estela Gutierrez, recycling technician. We're here today to talk about backyard composting, how to do it, and the benefits for you and the community. We provide composting workshops to encourage and engage residents in the Salinas Valley to start composting at home. I'm so glad you're interested in composting, and I hope we can help you achieve your composting goals. It is an environmentally superior alternative to landfilling with a reduction in greenhouse gases, as compost releases carbon dioxide instead of methane produced during anaerobic decomposition in a landfill environment. Compost provides nutrients-rich soil and acts as a method for carbon sequestration. Composting also helps us reach our 75% diversion requirement of organics going into our landfill. Organic waste doesn't mean food that was grown organically. Organic waste is food waste, green waste, landscape, and pruning waste, basically anything that was once alive. Diversion means to use the material for a beneficial reuse instead of sending it to the landfill. It will also extend the lifetime of our landfill, which currently only has 30 to 40 years of capacity remaining. Aside from helping the environment and the community, composting has benefits for you and your household as well. Backyard composting is a simple way to reduce your yard waste and food scraps. Compost saves you money by lowering water and garbage bills, and using compost replaces the need for extra soil amendments and fertilizers. Compost benefits your garden and container plants by improving the fertility and health of your soil. Plants grown in healthy soil are more resistant to pests and diseases. Used as mulch, compost conserves water, suppresses weeds, and protects the soil against compaction and erosion. Compost saves water by helping the soil hold moisture, reducing evaporation and water runoff. And maybe most importantly, composting is easy. Nature does most of the work. Depending on how much you put into your composting system, you can have finished compost in a few months, or you can have a lazy, passive compost pile that requires very little work on your part, but you will still have all the benefits. What is compost? It's decayed organic material used as a plant fertilizer. In a successful pile, you will find friendly insects, worms, and microorganisms that will do most of the composting for you. The following 4 essential elements or ingredients provide these creatures with the best environment to do their work. Browns are carbon-rich, dry, woody materials such as fallen leaves, hay, dried plants, and weeds. Greens are nitrogen-rich, green, moist materials such as kitchen scraps, young weeds, and fresh grass clippings. Your green sources contain nitrogen and will help heat up your pile. Water your pile until it is moist but not wet, like the consistency of a wrung-out sponge. Air, or oxygen, is added to the pile by turning or layering with bulky materials to create air spaces between materials. Making sure your pile has airflow will significantly speed up its decomposition. What to compost? The brown materials, fallen leaves, finely chopped woody prunings, pine needles, untreated wood, sawdust, newspaper, hay. Green materials, lawn clippings, young weeds, vegetable and fruit peels and scraps, coffee grounds, tea bags, breads and grains, eggshells, manures from non-meat-eating animals. Things you don't want to compost: meat and bones, fish, dairy products, greasy foods, plywood sawdust, treated wood sawdust, diseased plants, dog, cat, or bird feces, poison oak, Bermuda grass, ivy, and rhizome grasses, barbecue, or coal ashes. Now, let's build a compost pile. A good formula for healthy carbon to nitrogen balance is 50 to 70% green material to 50% to 30% brown material per volume. For beginner composter, we recommend the ratio 50 to 50, 50% brown to 50% green. Aim for your pile to be at least 3 by 3 by 3 or 1 cubic yard. To start, add a first layer of 6 inches, small sticks not bigger than a pencil, then add water. Add the second layer of 6 inches of brown material, then add water. Add a third layer of 6 inches of green material, then add water, and continue alternating brown and green until it's at least 3 feet high. Decomposition of the pile from start to finish depends on how much aeration and work you put into it. Add water to your pile at least once a week and turn your pile at least once every 2 weeks. This helps to accelerate the decomposition. As the pile decomposes, it will shrink to half its original size or less. You can continue adding material every week, but at some point you must stop adding material to let the pile compost. We recommend the following techniques and tips to help you avoid problems and speed up the composting process. Chop materials if you want them to break down more quickly. The more you chop, the faster the decomposition process will be. Mix. Turn the pile to avoid compaction and provide oxygen to the pile. And you can add a layer of brown and green material. Maintain air and water balance by keeping compost as moist as a wrung-out sponge. Aerate the pile by turning or creating air shafts. Food waste should be covered up with dry materials such as leaves, dirt, or sawdust to avoid attracting rodents and fruit flies. A composting system can take many different forms and can be purchased or homemade. Most commercial bins have lids and ventilation, and many are animal resistant. These bins are good for smaller yards with low material volumes. Many people prefer to have an enclosed bin because it's attractive. However, they can be more challenging to turn and harvest. Choose a structure that is the right size, style, cost, and effort level for you. Heaps are the cheapest form of composting and are great if you have a moderate to large area to locate your heap. However, this system can be problematic if there are animals that may scavenge the pile. An open pile should be covered in the rainy season. Hoops are inexpensive and can be made out of wire, stakes, or bought as plastic enclosure. This style is adjustable and can be moved and covered easily, but it is not animal resistant. This pile is enclosed and tidier than a heap. Tumblers and spinners are self-contained barrels, drums, or balls that rotate for easy mixing and fast decomposition. These manufactured bins are a bit more expensive than other systems. They fit in small spaces and are usually animal resistant. A multi-bin system is great for a household or community space, generating a significant amount of yard waste. This system is efficient, allowing you to have 3 working piles at 3 different stages of decomposition, and it's easy to turn and harvest. This style of bin can be made animal resistant. Harvesting compost can be done a couple ways. Move or empty your bin, structure, or heap next to where it is now. Move uncomposted material back into the bin and harvest finished compost. Sift or pick out any bigger, unfinished pieces and put these back into the pile. If your bin has a harvesting door, scoop out the finished compost from the bottom. Sift if desired. Finished compost is dark and crumbly and looks like high-quality soil, also known as humus. It can be added to the soil at any time. Humus improves soil structure and water retention and adds minerals and nutrients needed for plant growth, and provides the soil with beneficial microorganisms. Compost also attracts earthworms, which improves soil aeration. Healthy, compost-enriched soil grows healthy plants that resist pests, disease, and drought. Adding compost to your garden plants. As a soil amendment, mix a 4 to 6 inch layer of finished compost into newly reclaimed or poor soils. Dig 1 to 3 inches of compost into garden beds at least once a year. Mulching is a great way to use compost year-round. In dense plantings, spread compost 1 to 3 inches thick over soil between plants. For weed management in open plantings, spread compost 4 to 6 inches thick over soil around plants. Do not pile compost against plant stems or tree trunks. On houseplants, sprinkle a thin layer of compost on top of the houseplant soil to provide nutrients. You can also make a great potting soil by mixing compost with soil, sand, or other ingredients. Let's talk about troubleshooting. Is your pile not composting? Maybe the problem is too much dry woody material. The solution would be to moisten until slightly damp, turn, chop, and add fresh green materials or manure. Is your pile smelly, rotten, or attracting flies? It's too wet. Food scraps may be exposed. The solution: turn, add dry brown materials, and turn. Cover any food scraps with 2 inches of dry material or soil. Are you finding rodents in your pile? The problem may be food waste in an open bin. Maybe the holes are larger than a 1/4 inch. Rodents are attracted to foods. The solution: turn compost and rodent-proof your bin by closing up access space. Cover any food scraps with 2 inches of dry material or soil. Thank you for joining us for the composting workshop today. We hope you found the information valuable. Follow us on social media and check out our website at salinasvalleyrecycles.org for more information.